Yeah, Jagdish.
Yeah,
So
please.
there are two major things that we can help you with. One is to understand internally how time is being spent. So that's where we can help you understand where time is being spent. For example, when is the developer starting their day? When are they ending their day? How much time are they working on? Which productive apps and websites are they working on? So for example, let's say developer tools is a category. You want to understand genuinely how much time have they spent coding. And that is going to be something that's visible to you, and it's going to ignore the idle periods also. So not you're going to understand that these times they were idle, they moved away from the laptop or the machine because they're, I'm assuming the developers, their work should be happening purely on the laptop. So if they're not active on the laptop, that's probably idle time. So we can help you with that
Correct.
internal assessment for your people. The reason why I was asking those questions about client billing and all of those fronts is because we can also help you with time tracking on projects and tasks. So when you tomorrow, let's say you want to understand how costly has it been for your company to work on project A or for client A, B, you're able to understand clearly that in the unit metric that this is the kind of effort that's gone and this is what's the cost it's been translated to based on the developer's cost to the company. So those are two areas
Yep.
we can help you with. Now depends. Is the first area more interesting to understand how much time is being spent on developer tools in an automated way, or is it to understand time tracking on projects and tasks where you're able to understand and you're able to get that summary of how much
I
time?
would like to understand both the things
Okay.
so that I can convey to, because I have a call, I have a pitch deck ready
Okay.
to have a discussion with my CEO counterpart in US on Monday, upcoming
Okay.
Monday. So I would like to explain both the verticals, both the parts, so that then we can probably decide that what we're going to move forward with.
Got it. Sure. I'll show you both of those. And let's say if things go ahead, for how many users would this requirement be for?
Right now, we have around 15 to 16 people.
15 to 16.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Got it. And is this like an urgent requirement for you at the moment or not? Not
it
really.
is.
It
It
is.
is.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Great. So I'll just quickly share my screen now and I'll take you through a demo of Flowace. Feel free to, in the middle of the demo, ask me any questions that you have, right? It's always good to have an interactive session is what I believe. So in case there are some things that come up, please feel free to, ask
Sure.
questions. Just sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
It's coming up. Yeah, I can see now.
Great. So my dashboard is at gozo.flowace.in. So for you, it will be your company name.flowace.in. That will be the unique URL that will get created. Let me just shift this upwards. This is how the dashboard looks. Now there are two ways in which Flowace can be installed on the end user's laptop or machine. One of them is called the interactive mode. The other one's called the silent mode. Now both these work in a very similar way when it comes to time tracking on apps and websites because they both give you the same insights like start time, end time, idle periods, time spent on different tools and so on. It's just that interactive is something that the users are aware about. They're able to see their own data as well. Whereas silent is completely silent. It's working in the background where the employees don't know about this tool running. So it's more for the leadership team. And let's say you're the ops head. It's for you to analyze if people are genuinely spending their time in the right areas or not, and you can restructure their work. So
Okay.
both these modes are available. So which are these two modes would be more like would resonate more with you?
I would rather go for silent mode.
Okay. So I'm assuming they have their own work laptops, right? Everybody.
Okay, that's the main question, right? Question that you asked, because the computers or the laptops is being provided. Let's say we have a partner from who we have 4 developers.
Okay.
So it's the duty of the uh, you know partner to give the laptops to them,
Got it.
hardwares to them, not us. So basically, I would say all 14, 15 people except me, they have their own system,
They have their
not
own
provided
system.
by the company. Yeah.
Okay. So when they don't have their own system, then I would recommend going with the interactive mode, because they have this
Mhm.
privacy mode button where they can select, they can click on this move to privacy mode button. So you're basically clocking the number of hours that they're actively working for. When they're in their
Okay.
privacy mode, those hours are not accounted for. So you can clearly tell them that if you're working in this by mistake, those hours will not be calculated in your payroll.
I
Whereas,
understand. So let's go for interactive mode. Yeah,
yeah.
because they have their personal system to
Correct.
work
So
in.
I would recommend doing this where you're accounting for the number of hours that they're working for the company. So they're clicking on the work mode or the privacy mode button, depending on which mode they're in. Now, once this is installed, I'll show you what gets captured. So first thing, most important thing, let's say, so today is a weekly off for everybody. So I'm going to show you yesterday's data. So yesterday, you can see each person's in time. So when did they start their laptops? This is when they opened their laptop and started working, or they came back into their work mode from privacy mode the last night. So when they click on work mode, that's when the in time gets recorded automatically based on their last activity of their machine or system. Or let's say if they click on the privacy mode, automatically the last activity is considered as the out time. Now it's also capturing the actual time of the member, how much time they are working. And this is subtracting the idle periods. Now I'm coming to the idle logic, what the idle logic is. And based on this actual hours, you're able to understand whether they worked more than the expected number of hours or less than the expected number of hours. If they work more, it goes into the burnout time, as you can see over here. For Jatin, he worked for 9 hours, 47 minutes. So he worked harder as compared to his expected time of 8 hours. Whereas if you see Anchal also worked harder, but if you see Sanskriti, she worked lesser as compared to her expected time, 1 hour 42 minutes. Now coming into the actual time that they worked for, that logic. So let me just quickly show you two
One
configurations.
question before you move ahead.
Yeah.
Is this the, I mean, you are actually showcasing the developer's point of view, right?
Yeah.
Not from the admin point of view.
So this is the admin dashboard, yeah, but the developers can see their own data if you install this in an interactive way.
Okay.
So they
So
can
it's the
see,
same app basically for both admin. It's just
yeah,
the role.
except
I'm trying
except
to
the admin settings, that you saw right now, this admin settings, it's the same. You can configure the hierarchy as well. So the viewership is based on the hierarchy. So Aniket will get to see his data along with the members that are reporting to him. I can see everybody's data because I'm on the top. So you can decide who gets to see whose data.
Okay.
That's a simple upload function. Once you upload the list of users along with their reporting manager, so reports to, automatically this n-level hierarchy will get created.
So basically, it is the UI UX screen that I see right now. It is the same for admin and for the team members, right? It is only on the settings you can see the difference
Correct.
of
Absolutely.
admin or the, yeah, okay.
Absolutely. So they can see only their data and the people that are reporting to them. But let's say someone's on the least,
Understood.
like the bottommost chain, that person can only see their own data. That's it.
Got it. Yeah.
And two configurations that are important to know. One is the idle time configuration. So what this means is that, let's say for Amit Yadav, there's a 5-minute window that's been configured. What this means is that if there's no mouse movement or keypad activity for 5 minutes continuously, it'll be considered that Amit is on a break. He's on idle mode. So that will not be
Okay.
considered as his active time. Now, this really helps in two situations. One is internally, you know, how much genuinely time was spent working and how much time was genuinely spent on, let's say, client projects and tasks. So it negates that value, which, you know, usually, like how you said, timesheets, people go and fill anything, right? People can just add time, whereas in this situation, they will not be able to do that. So this is the idle period. I'll show you how it looks on the timeline as well. This is one configuration. Another configuration is for the apps and websites. Now for the web development team, you can create different teams, by the way. So if you create different teams, so if I click on the web development team, you can see these are the apps and websites that are benchmarked as productive for them. Visual Studio Code, Item, Slack, dbeaver, Slack, Postman, and so on. So you can decide. So once they start using the application, automatically these apps will start coming up over here. You can just decide and benchmark them into different categories like developer tools or communication or office tools.
Okay. One question, Varun, on here. So let's say, for example, we use Microsoft developers, this Visual Studio, and we use Microsoft DevOps. We use Microsoft Teams as communication or meet calls. So all these apps I can mention here. So let's say if they're using the apps and if I configure it here on the admin side, that will be considered as a development or a productive, right?
Correct.
If they use, let's say, for example, any other app, let's say, for example, they're using Netflix.
Correct.
Right? So that will not be considered on the rolling of the hours here, correct?
Correct. It'll come in the unproductive section automatically.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
You can configure and you just need to wait for them to use these applications. So 1-2 days after installing this app, automatically they'll come up over here. All you need to do is benchmark which one is productive. So you can just select the category and they'll automatically be benchmarked as productive.
So basically, first I need to list down all the tools.
You don't need to list. You don't need to list. It'll automatically come up. So when they start using the applications and websites, in 1-2 days, whatever they use will come up over here. All you need to do is, and by default, they will go into the other category. So let me just show you some apps. I select other.
Okay, in the starting, it will automatically pop up and it will go to others.
Other, yes. You can see over here
Okay.
the duration that they're using. If Firefox is a productive application, now let's say it is. Let's say I can search and put it in browser. Browser, not the browsing. Browsing. You can also create your own categories. So you have the flexibility to do that. Let's say I was just for design research. So you see it becomes productive now because design research has been categorized as a productive application, as a productive category. So you can configure this. So you see design research is productive. So let's say you can create a category called social media, like how you said, or you could say viewing or content. And when a Netflix comes, you can just select Netflix or content, you can select and automatically, you don't need to do that also. It'll automatically happen. It'll come in unproductive. But let's say we want to genuinely see in that category of who's really viewing content in work hours. So you can do that as well.
So these list of work category, it will automatically pop up,
Automatically,
or
it'll
these are
automatically come up. Yeah, it'll automatically come up. All you need to do is you'll have to just do this with what I showed you. It'll all come up in other category by default for you first. Once it
got
comes
it,
up
got
in
it.
other, you just need to select which app and website is genuinely productive for you. That's it. So you
Okay.
just need to categorize this. That's it. Once these two are done, then the data will make more sense now to you. Now, let's say I show you the productivity analysis. Let's say for yesterday's day, just one day. And let's say because you're more interested in the web development, so I'll show you our developers. So the web development team, if I click on their data, you can see Abhishek Patel worked quite hard. 10 hours, 34 minutes of actual time, which is negating the idle period. So he's actually worked for 10 hours, 34 minutes. Out of that, this much has been productive. So if I open his data, you'll get to see his breakup of, so he was on a meet call. So we usually have a typical style of working for developers. They're typically on a meet call the whole day, like with the team lead, and they're working together. So they have a deep work session that they have, and they are typically on it. And in developer tools, he spent 32 minutes yesterday because maybe there was a lot of planning work to do. It was a Friday, yeah. So we usually typically do our planning on Friday.
So basically, I got your point. So your platform of this flow is it automatically detects once it's installed. So it automatically detects from the system and put it over here that how many hours or minutes is being used by the
Correct.
system, by the user. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if there's any productive time, unproductive time, it'll come up over here. So even on Spotify for 27 seconds also comes.
One question, Varun.
Yeah,
I got this point. How do you, the idle time that you showed me,
yeah,
uh, that's as an admin, you configure the idle time, right?
correct.
So as a remotely working, let's say I am the developer, I use the system for, let's say, 15 minutes or maybe for 30 minutes continuous. I
Got,
worked on some development part. And
got,
now, let's say I need to, somebody came to my home, now I need to go off, but I don't want to, there is something which is going on my system and
hmm,
I want to make sure that it's running. Let's
correct.
say I have executed one exe file. Okay.
Got it.
I want
Got it.
it to run. And
Right.
meanwhile, let's say for that 15 minutes of exe file running, I
Hmm,
just want to, I have my guests. So I want to
hmm,
send them off. So I go off the laptop.
got it. Got it.
Now, if I set the two questions on the both sides of the coin. So one, I set up, let's say 5 minutes as an idle time for me,
Got it.
my admin has set up. Now I have kept that laptop for exe file to run and I
Hmm,
have go off the laptop. What will
got it.
happen? Does it consider as a idle time?
So it will consider as not idle. It will be idle, by the way, because there's no mouse movement or keypad activity. There's
Yeah,
no keystrokes happening or there's no mouse movement. So we do track that as
exactly.
well. So that what people also do to bypass this, I'll just share with you also what people try to do this to bypass this. They'll put an eraser on the space bar. They'll put a simple eraser on a space bar, which will keep going on a Word
I
uh,
know.
file. So this is where screenshots come in handy. This is our premium plan where we also help you understand. So let's say for Nandini, let's say I had to just show you the data, one of the members. Let's say for yesterday, you'll be able to see her mouse clicks and keystroke percentage also, like how her activity percentage was. So this is where two suspicious activities usually happen. If they've kept a spacebar, it will show up as 100%, which is not possible. No one can have 100% activity. That's one suspicious behavior. The other suspicious behavior is when people have 0% activity. So they've probably done something programmatically where it comes as 0% and still time is being tracked. So there are these suspicious behaviors which you can see along with the screens also. You can set the time that every 5 minutes or every 7 minutes a screenshot should be taken. So you're able to see, for example, in this case, if someone had done that eraser thing, you'd have seen the same Word file coming up again and again, like five same documents with space bar and 100% activity. So this is where we can alert you about this kind of behavior.
Okay, my question is how does the admin set the role of the timer? I mean, set the timer role of idle time as 5 minutes or 15 minutes for any developer.
So that the developer has flexibility to do, right? So that you can probably set that up when you go to desktop app. If you want to be very strict, you set up a lower value, like a 2 minute value or a 3 minute value. If you want to be a little more lenient, it's a 10 minute window. This is what we suggest. If you want to be very lenient, it's a 20 minute window. So you can play around with this so that people don't know about this. They don't know how much time is being checked, after which idle is being considered.
So idle time, it's, let's say, for example, I worked, let's say let's go for the first one, Anchal. Okay.
Yeah.
You have set it. Okay. Let's go for the saved one, the third one, Abhishek Patel. Okay. You have saved it for 10 minutes idle time.
Correct.
So that means, correct me if I'm wrong. What I'm understanding is, since as an admin myself, I saved for Abhishek Patel as 10 minutes idle time, saved it as an admin. So that means Abhishek's system can go for idle time for 10 minutes and that will be considered as productive time. Is it?
Yeah. On the 10th minute, after the 10th minute, it'll be considered unproductive. It'll be considered idle.
Got it. I got your point. Yeah.
After 10th. So that's the leeway that we're giving basically. 10 minutes leeway we're giving. If you've gone for a bathroom break and you come back, it should not put you into unproductive. And there's also one more thing you can do, which is called idle alert. What this does is on a 1 minute before the idle time value, so let's say 10 minutes, so on the 9th minute, Anshul will get an alert with a pop-up and a sound that says, hey Anshul, looks like you've not been active on the system for the last couple of minutes. Are you still working? So if Anchal is there, she's on the desk doing some kind of work, some kind of reading, writing, she can say, yes, I am working. She's not on the desk automatically, she will be put into idle mode.
Got it. Yeah.
So this can be done in case it needs to be done. Now, just to show you, on a timeline view, what the app captures exactly and what it showcases. So let's say for yesterday's data, I had to see my data only, let's say yesterday's data. If I go to yesterday's day, you'll be able to see when I started my day. So you see 11:03 is when I opened my laptop and I started working. These are my entries for the day. Whatever I was working on is getting captured 7 minutes. So whichever cell I press on the left-hand side, you'll see I was working. So these are projects, by the way. I've selected a project also along with my time spent on different apps and websites. So both are getting captured because I've selected on the platform, I've selected land purchase agreement over here. So you can assign your tasks and projects to people and they can select, let's say I had a client called PwC, which I am working for. Or let's say Flowace, there's PwC, there is PwC implementation. I'm working on this client. So I can select these activities and I can just click on classify. So my time is getting captured against this particular project. That's how this is coming. So this obviously is dependent on the user selecting which project or task they're working on. If they don't select this, then you'll get the data on different apps and websites, but you won't get the task time data.
Okay, now since you have started this, on this scenario, I have one question which I marked it down. Sure. Let's say, as I told you, that we have different clients, projects, which we have already made inside Microsoft Azure DevOps.
Correct. Okay?
Let's say one of the client name is ABC, second is XYZ.
Okay.
And now the developer starts working. Now the developer can work on both the projects, right?
Correct.
Now let's say X developer, I'm the developer. I have been assigned for both the projects. Now correct. I can divert my time in a day, maybe 2 hours, maybe 4 hours. I'm not being strict that, okay, I have to work 4 hours for this client, 4 hours. No, it depends on me. What are the tasks, user stories which are there on both the projects in DevOps? I can work as many time as possible. How does your tool is going to track that I have worked these many minutes or hours in ABC for ABC client? How many hours or minutes I worked on XYZ client?
So see, the only way to do this, to be honest, because the way the system works is that at any given point in time can be classified only to one project or task. Now you can, let's say if there's duplicate effort that someone is doing for both the projects at the same time, which rarely happens, but if it's happening, then we suggest creating two clients, like, saying ABC and XYZ. That's one classification. You create that.
Who's going to create it? Who's going to create?
The admin, or you can even give this right to people. You can have people create this client project and task. So either they create if you give this right, but obviously we say this one thing: garbage in is garbage out. So you give it to certain people only who genuinely know about the project. Otherwise, duplicate records can get created. So you rather give it to people. For example, if I just show you one project, PwC implementation only, the example that I took, you can see that this has been assigned to these many members in the firm. So only they can track the time against this particular project. So tomorrow, when you remove the profitability report or the timesheet summary report for this particular project, we get accurate data because they've
So
selected this.
let's say, Varun, I'm the developer, as I told you the same example. Let's say now, right now, in my morning, I'm going to start working on ABC client.
Yeah.
Where do I go and click it?
You select
So that
ABC.
you're,
Yeah, you select ABC on this classification, you select that you're working on ABC. Now, if you want to
oh, okay.
punch, yeah, if you want to punch in, let's say, another 4 hours, you can give a manual entry right to people, and that will go through an approval mechanism. So let's say the approval request will come if someone's added like a manual entry, it will come up over here. You can even decide the approval workflow. That if 3 people
Okay.
need to approve or 2 people need to approve, you can decide that so that only time that's approved is getting added to their timesheet.
Can you just open the small window that you just
Yeah.
opened?
Sure. This one,
And where did you click?
reset.
Reset. Okay.
Reset and
So
click it
let's
on
say
auto
I
process.
work on ABC client, I go on reset, I click the client, I click the project, and I start work.
Yeah.
Classify, I click on classify and start working on it. When
Correct.
I completed worked on ABC, I want to go back to XYZ. Then I go to reset button on this page and I
Correct.
click the client as the XYZ client. And for XYZ client, let's say I have CDB project. I click on it, then I click on classify, I start working on it. So the tool
Correct.
will then clock itself in that way that it will manage the complete hours that I've worked for ABC and I worked for XYZ, correct?
Correct. Absolutely. And it's ignoring the idle times also. So the best part about Flowace is that usually people, are able to fib on the efforts that they've put in. But here you see this idle period is coming. So I was actually not working on the laptop at this speed. So no one can really add time on this. Or even if they try to add, you can then, as an approver, can check that there was idle periods over. You can check with him that you were idle right now at this point. Why are you adding time? So he'll have to justify saying I was actually in a meeting. I was actually doing some kind of an offline activity. So that will have to be done. So you can see all my idle periods over here. If I click on just idle time now, you'll see all my idle periods. I remove non-task time. I remove PwC implementation. I remove billing test. So you can see all my breaks of the day. And whenever I went to privacy mode also. So you can see over here privacy mode. I was in privacy mode for this much amount of time.
So if a person clicks on privacy mode, what happens then?
Then it just is treated this way. Privacy mode. That's it. It just goes into Flowace privacy. Again, it's idle time.
Okay, for us, it will be considered as idle time, right?
Yeah, correct. So this way you're able to quickly understand how much time was spent on tasks, how much was idle, how much was non-task time. So there's also an option you can select no task. So we click on this reset. What happens is there's no classification right now. So right now my time is going into no task time, non-task time. So it can be general
Okay.
activities. So let's say people are spending a lot of time on general activities. That could be a concern for you.
Okay. For example, I think you're saying that let's say I'm the developer, it's my personal system. So
Hmm.
I have worked on 4 hours till afternoon. Now, while eating my lunch, I want to, go ahead and open Netflix. And while having lunch, I want to use Netflix and saw some movie,
Correct.
let's say for half an hour. So that will come on non-task time, correct?
Yeah, that'll either non-task time or they can just go into move to privacy mode. Simpler.
Privacy.
That's
Okay.
what
Okay.
typically people do. When they take a break, they just click on move to privacy mode.
So I would say that this is the major difference I can see identifying using other tools compared to Flowace. Okay, got it.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. I mean, the major difference is this, right? This idle period that you get, the accuracy that you will get with Flow is because you'll actually get the time that they've genuinely invested in working.
Yeah.
And then you can also remove the timesheet summary report. So I had removed this yesterday for somebody. So I'll just show you. So you can go and download. So let me just download it. So let's say I click on, and each person, by the way, has a charge out cost and a charge out rate. So let's say for me, if I click on my profile over here, Varun Kodnani, here I'm able to see. So my charge out cost has been set as 10,000 per hour. and charge out rate has been set out as 20,000 per hour. So this is more like cost for the company, and this is the rate typically that is charged for my efforts, let's assume. So this is what has been configured. Now, based on that, I can generate a report, which is a timesheet summary report. So if I go into reporting, projects and tasks, so task time report, and here I can select, let's say for the last 7 days, if I had to select all members. So let me just select my time. So let's say Varun,
So go ahead and select all team members.
team members
I
of
would like to
Flowace.
see a report, let's say for all the team members,
Select teams,
day wise, client wise.
day wise breakup, download, non-billable, let's say both, time in HHMMSS, download report in CSV last. Yeah, we just download this one, generate report. So as you can see, it's been downloaded. I'll just have to open this on Sheets because there's some problem with my Microsoft Office. Open this, file, open. This was what we downloaded. Yeah, it's got a little, because I opened it on Sheets, gets a little messed up. I'll just delete these rows. Delete cell and shift cells left and data and split text to columns. Yeah. So this is the data. Now we can put a filter here and we can understand for each member. I think that'll be easier. So let's say if I had to select my name, I filter it out by A to Z, let's say. So here Abhishek Patel's data. So my data is coming up over here. My date, my name. So what all projects I worked on. So project name. So my time on each of the days in the last, days that I worked for.
So
On each
basically what I
day.
want to look for is if, since you opened in Google Sheet, so
Yeah,
let's say I download and open an Excel file.
yeah.
So I would like to see day wise, person wise,
Hmm.
client wise, total hours worked.
Day wise is
Day
there.
wise,
Day wise is
day wise.
yeah. So
So let's
day,
say, for example, on 19th,
yeah.
I would like to see Varun, Jatin, Nandini, Abhishek, and Sanskriti.
Okay.
They worked on how many hours
So
and
eight is
what all the
I just
projects that they worked on.
yeah. So I just made it A to Z now. So now you can see on 18th what all work happened, and on 19th what all work happened. So each member, for example, on 19th, Abhishek spent this much amount of time on download, 11 hours on this. He had zero, there's no cost per hour entered for him and rate per hour entered for him. So which is why it comes as zero. For Amit Yadav, we worked on web developer mobile team. We worked on this client one, P001, matter this one, billable, 1 hour, 57 minutes on this. 1950 is the price. Cost is 975 based on his charge out rate and cost per hour.
Now, if you see on 19th, there are two logs of yours,
Yeah,
of
that
Varun's, right?
because I selected two projects. So I selected land purchase agreement and I selected billing test.
Okay.
So one I've spent 4 hours 27 minutes and the other one I've spent 1 hour 26 minutes. This is not showing the non-task time. So whenever I didn't have any tasks selected or I was in obviously idle mode or privacy
No,
mode,
I
that
got it.
is
Yeah.
negated. Yeah. Then Abhishek Patel worked on for 14 hours on 20th.
So on this data,
Hmm.
basically, if I put on pivot, I would be able to see easily.
Yeah, you will be able to. There are customers who have done that on Pivot. They've also done it they've gone a step further and used some BI tool to export this data using an API, and they're doing a lot of their calculations
Yeah,
on.
absolutely. I do have some macro stuffs available already in
Yeah,
the Excel file. So if I just need to put the data like this, it
correct,
will automatically create the report.
correct. True, absolutely.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. So this is an interesting report that you can extract. Apart from that, you will also get, I don't know whether is attendance an important requirement for you to check? Because you will get the attendance also based on the computer activity. So let's say for July 1st to July 31st, you'll understand what are the total working days. We also have a leave management system. So you can also use Flowace for that, where people can apply for leaves and leaves can be approved by that same approval mechanism. So if there were, let's say, 23 total working days, actual working days, whichever number of leaves that they've taken based on that, that'll get removed. So for example, Nandini worked for 22.5 working days. So she took half a leave, like half day leave she took. The actual hours that they worked for, this is negating the idle times. So actual hours divided by the actual working days will give you the average hours worked by each individual per day.
Okay.
And the expected hours minus the actual hours will help you understand if they've been underutilized or overutilized. These all members have done pretty well. They've been overutilized. Whereas you can see over here, Aniket has been
Is
underutilized
this
13
is this
hours.
expected actual time is being set up by admin?
It's being set up by admin, yes.
Okay.
By defining what are the expected number of hours on a full day that they're supposed to work for, an expected number of hours that each person needs to work on a half working day.
Okay. The reason why I asked this question is we have, let's say, for example, one developer wherein we contracted uh, every working day, that's like Monday to Friday,
Hmm.
each day for 4 hours only.
Okay, sure.
So we need to define the
We can
expected
design his
actual
work
time.
policy. We can define the work policy that he's working only for 4 days per day. We can decide the roster. Roster can be done.
Okay.
So once the roster is decided, then the expected number of hours will come based on that.
How about the approval for the developers of the timesheet?
Approval. So as I showed you, right? So let me just cover this one dashboard, then I'll move
Yeah,
to
yeah, sure.
approval. So your actual time, average start time. So this again, every single day to measure if people are starting on time or not becomes quite tedious. But on an average, if somebody's starting in late, for example, Shalini Suman, on an average, she's starting at 11:21, which is a concern. And now these, I'll also show you one more feature past this, after this, I'm done with this summary report. So this is task time, average task time, non-task time, breakup of idle, productive, unproductive, and neutral time. So this is basis of the apps and websites that have been used. Now, all these data points can be used to set alerts. The reason why alerts really help you is because let's say if you want to stay on top of things, let's say who's starting in late, like a late start alert or highly underutilized resources. We have created these alerts, which basically means that I've set up like if actual duration of their work is less than equals to 8 hours in a day. On all working days, the alert should get sent to the individual also. So even the person working should be notified that, hey, Varun, looks like today has not been a very productive day. It's time to back yourself to do better tomorrow. So something can be customized and configured so that they are sent an email message or an alert along with the administrators, and this gets executed on the next day at 11 a.m. So all these configurations can be done. You can set up your own alerts. You have this whole custom alert builder. So click create new, you can set up for all different productivity parameters. Let's say if you want to know where people are spending too much time on Netflix, as you said, Netflix or any other tool. So unproductive duration is greater than equals, let's say, a custom value of 2 hours. In a day, if somebody is spending more than 2 hours on Netflix and these other unproductive apps and websites, an alert can be sent to the individual also, to the reporting manager, which I showed you in the hierarchy, and it can also be sent to some custom email addresses if needs to be done. Or administrators, you can decide, or complete hierarchy, the entire hierarchy if you want to send. So this really helps because you can make the whole system being a proactive system as compared to it being a reactive system. So you stay on top of things. Let me show you how I get an alert also. It'll probably help. Being a Saturday, I have a lot of liberty at hand today. Otherwise, typically on the other working days, I'm always rushing to the next. So here, let me just show you highly underutilized resources. So here you can see these members who have worked for how many hours and based on, so they completed their actual duration of this much time and they were short. The expected time was 8 hours. So I get this alert, I get informed about this. So I don't need to keep coming back onto Flowace again and again.
Got it.
Now, moving on to, had asked about the approval workflow, right? So you can create this workflow over here. So who needs to, let's say if I click on new, if it's a leave or a manual entry workflow, you can set the approval name also. Applicable to all users, you can create different workflows for different teams. For the development team, it could be different. For your sales team, it could be different. Configuration parameters are all mentioned, like leave type is between this day to this day. There should be an auto approval done or auto reject or a configure approver. Who needs to approve? The reporting manager needs to approve in our case. And the first approver should be default, should be the reporting manager. So this is something that can be configured in a very sustainable kind of a manner so that it all works, goes through a workflow. And let's say whoever has to approve, they'll have to go to the approval request over here. So if I am a senior member, I will get this approval request over here. For leave, I've got this request. Namrata send it to me, leave test. So I can see either approve or reject.
I got it. On the last page, if you go, I was looking for the number 1%, number 2% for the approval. Once,
Okay.
let's say, for
Approval.
example, we have 3 people approval. One is the team lead.
Yeah. So you can add first approver, reporting manager, second approver, custom. You can add like a member. Let's see, Tarun. So you can add multiple approvers. Tarun.flowace.ai plus third approver. So you can set this workflow.
So once the third approval is done, then only it will be
Then only you would
considered
get
as.
yes. Absolutely. So one would go to the second, second would go to the third then.
Okay.
Yeah, that can be done. Yeah, so apart from that, I think I've tried to cover everything. There's nothing else, in terms of like critical or key features. You said people are working remotely, right? One
Yeah.
important feature along with the keystrokes and mouse click analysis. So you can also configure the screenshots, the time at which screenshots need to be taken, similar to how I showed you idle time. So screenshots can be configured at what interval the screenshots should be taken. And only if they're turned on, they'll get taken. If they're not turned on, they will not get taken. So you can decide whether screenshots need to be taken. And so that's one permission. And based on that, obviously, you'll also understand, as I said, the keystrokes and mouse click analysis. So you'll understand the activity percentage. So for, let's say, Anchal, you can see what all keystrokes, like what was the percentage of activity, as I showed you earlier. Now, one other critical feature for remote workforce, which is what we have seen lots of people appreciating us for, is something called internet usage. Now, what this helps you do is that it captures or tracks even their internet speeds, along with which city and location they're working in from. So let's say I select Aniket's data. So every hour or whenever he has good internet connectivity, the data is getting pinged, and you're able to see what is download speed, upload speed, latency, jitter rate, final status, and which city is he logging in from based on the ISP address and the IP address. So let's say people shift their location or they're not getting good internet speeds, even alerts can be sent for that. And this comes under a premium plan.
Which plan?
Premium plan.
Premium plan.
There are 3 plans, so I can take you through the pricing plans at the end, if there are not any other questions.
The only thing that I see is, so this is like tracking anybody's time through their system, either desktop or laptop.
Correct.
However, let's say as our team members are using Azure DevOps.
Yeah.
So if you need to track what all the tasks, let's say I have 5 developers, I have assigned 5 tasks to them.
Correct.
So if I need to check as per the task, how
Correct.
much time they have set. Let's say I define 5 tasks to one developer, I define 7 tasks to one developer. So different number of tasks to different developers. Now I need to track according to the task, how much they have estimated the time and how much they have actually worked on.
Correct.
So that would be difficult to track from this tool, is it?
It's not actually difficult. So we did have a integration with Asana. Azure DevOps, we had built something, but right now we don't have too many customers using it. We have built an integration, but for now, what you'll have to do is a simple download function and upload this on Flowace. Once you upload on Flowace along with the assignment, who all have been assigned to this project, automatically this will get created for them. This kind of a view. So the bulk upload feature is here. So on tasks, there is a bulk upload feature. You can upload all the tasks over here, and then automatically based on the bulk upload feature, they will be able to see their own. So if I've been assigned a task, I will be able to see this over here on this. So this one function will have to be done because we don't have an integration with Azure DevOps at the moment. But in the future, we can think of building it if there are.
So what you're saying is, as of now, the developer, let's say they have, that person has been assigned, let's say 10 tasks.
Yeah,
So he or she has to download all the tasks and upload it over here.
correct. Absolutely. One function will have to be done to upload it, or either they could do it or the administrator of the to do it one click, they could just download it on that and upload it over here. Maybe some kind of data checking or sanity check will have to be done and then upload it. Then automatically they'll start getting that task over here.
Got it, Varun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please proceed.
Great. So I'm done from mine. Any other questions?
No, not yet. Not now.
Okay, got it. Got it. So should I take you through the pricing plan as well?
Yep, please.
Sure. So it's on flowace.ai listed. So if you click on pricing, there are three plans that we have, basic, standard, and premium. So basic is more for the attendance use case, typically where customers just want to know active time, idle time, start time, end time. That's more or less, and some basic screenshots and silent tracking and so on. That can be done on basic. Standard is when you want to go a little deeper to understand how much time was spent on, let's say, developer tools or apps and websites. That's what we give with standard plan, where you go a little deeper to understand on which apps and websites you can also create your alerts, the raw activity logs that you saw. So the whole view of timeline that you saw, that's something that you can understand over here with the standard plan, this whole timeline view. That's a part of the standard plan. And premium has some other offerings, which are internet connectivity reporting, typically for the remote workforce and keyboard and mouse activity. That's a part of our premium plan. And both packs are available annual or monthly, both. Yeah. Yeah, Jagdish, you were saying something?
833 per user per month.
That's the monthly. If you sign up with the annual, it's a lot more cost effective.
So annually. So how do you bill when, let's say for a customer like me, I go for annual premium.
Okay.
And let's say I have 10 users. So how do you bill?
Yeah. So it's 583 into 12 for the 12 months multiplied by 10. 583 multiplied by 12. So you get the subscription for 1 year into 10 users, you said, right? So this will be 61,960 for 10 users.
So what is your billing cycle?
So billing cycle is whenever we start the subscription, right? So it depends on, let's say, if you were to start it today, then it will be active until 22nd of August 2026.
So basically you charge in advance for the
Yeah,
first year.
it's an advance. Once the payment is made, the subscription gets activated for 1 year. Or for 1 month. Same thing for 1 month also. If you do it every month on month, then 835 into, let's say, 10 users, if you want to sign up for, that's what 8350 rupees per month. It'll get charged every month.
And do you have this, let's say, for example, either it is standard or premium, we can use it for system as well as for mobile app?
We don't typically have too many features on the mobile app, to be honest. Probably the only feature that's available that will help you is to add a manual entry, let's say. To create a manual entry, that could be.
So basically, we don't require for mobile app. I'm just asking.
Yeah. Mobile app is included. We're not going to change or charge differently because obviously we want the functions to be available on both mobile and web. And everything that you saw anyway is mobile friendly. They can easily go onto their dashboard on the web and they could sign in. It's all mobile friendly.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, because let's say I'm the admin.
Yeah.
I travel mostly, so I want to use the Flowace.ai on my mobile as an
Absolutely.
app.
Yeah, absolutely.
And check my team members.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have iOS. mobile. So do you have the app
It
in
works.
iOS?
It works on iOS. We don't have a mobile app. Again, I said it works on the web, but I would typically say if you want to check the data, a tablet is a better idea. It'll open better. You'll be able to visually see the whole dashboard in a much better way as compared to
I
seeing
understand.
the
You're
mobile.
talking about the UI, UX, the
Correct.
visual
Yeah.
screen.
Otherwise, it's a it's a web page as you can see. So it opens properly on the mobile app as well. On the mobile, sorry, not app, mobile as well on the web.
Okay. And what is the support if any of our team
Sure.
members require? Because as I told you, there are team members who are working from US,
Correct.
members who are working from Philippines, from London, UK, and of course
Correct.
from India. So what is your support
How
timing?
many people are working from the US?
5, 6?
5, 6. Okay. So we will have to assign a support executive from the US hours to you. For now, we for the Philippines, UK, India region, that should not be a problem. That will be something that will the chat support is the best way to go about your problem because everything gets recorded and there are escalations that we have internally. So it's the best to this is what we always suggest to our customers not to take any communication on WhatsApp or on any other place because then we don't really know about the escalations can't
No,
happen.
chat is fine. Chat is fine. So you're saying that except US,
Yeah,
team members can get the support through chat.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Even for US, if they're okay to wait for a couple of hours to get a response, it'll work perfectly fine. Because by the time, let's say, if they raise a request at 2 o'clock in the night, 8 o'clock, we start our day. So 8 o'clock, someone could respond.
Okay, one last question that I have, which is
Sure,
critical for us, like IT consulting or software development team, is
sure.
Varun, as we talked about that right now, it is a manual thing that either the admin or the developer can, download all the tasks from the DevOps, Azure DevOps,
Correct.
and upload it out here. Let's say I am the team lead, a
Mhm.
tech lead. I have 10 members in my team. I have already created 5 sprints, and
Okay.
every sprint has got a weekly Friday delivery. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's say I have got sprint 4. All the 4 sprints I know I have created as in a spreadsheet or an Excel file, you can say, and I know my 10 members who is going to work for different tasks in 4 sprints.
Okay.
So can I upload the complete sprint with all the user stories and tasks in one go onto this app, on this tool?
We'll have to check because maybe some things may not be there, to be very honest. We don't have something like user stories right now. It's like a basic project management system that we have.
Let's say I remove the user stories.
Yeah,
I know the task.
yeah,
Let's say I have 100 tasks and I have 4 sprints to
yeah.
deliver for a
So
month.
that tasks and due dates. Most importantly, tasks and due dates are the most important thing in my opinion, right?
Yeah,
Um,
we have the due dates
yeah,
because we are defining 4 sprints. So
correct.
for a month, we have divided 4 weeks. So every week we have each and every sprints, and we have some task which has to be delivered.
Got it. Got it.
And we know who all will be working out of those 10 people on those different tasks every week. So
Got
if
it.
I upload it on the first of month,
Yeah, I
for the
mean,
10 team members, that will be available to them.
Yeah,
That's what my
absolutely.
question is.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're right. But I would still say to keep the operations or whether the task is completed or not, that to happen on Azure DevOps only. I would say because here is where you can track the time, how much time was spent on which projects and tasks,
Oh,
which
that is obvious because
yeah,
anyways, that will be tracked in DevOps only.
DevOps, correct.
Uh, yeah, so they have this option of, the status of every task as new,
Correct.
open,
Correct.
working, in progress. And then when it is comes to testing, close, that they will be doing
That they'll
anyways.
be doing.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, we have the
We'll
testing
help you. We'll
teams.
help you with time tracking at the unit level. That's what we will help you with.
That's the answer I was expecting anyways.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that is possible. That's the
Correct.
major question I can see that which will come up from the technical team
Sure.
and from CTO. So
Sure,
they'll
sure.
be asking that right now we are working on Azure DevOps and there are tools. Right now we have 7 pays already integrated in DevOps. So we have one DevOps tool which can handle the timesheet as well as the task. Why we need to use another thing? So I
Another
need to make them understand that they don't have to do anything manually.
correct. True.
So
Absolutely.
everything will be handled on the back end.
Absolutely. And one biggest advantage that you'll get with this is that managing your remote workforce to know genuinely how much time is being spent on, let's say, Visual Studio Code, or genuinely the amount of time is being spent on different developer tools. That's the one very big important value that you'll get.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, Varun, I think I have got all my questions answered, and thank you very much for you and Abhishek
Sure.
spending your time in the
Sure.
weekend.
Thanks.
So I would like to have this recording. If you can
Sure.
send it over.
I'll send it to you. I'll
Uh,
send it to you post, once, the call ends, I'll be able to send it to you.
yeah, I need to attach on my 7th or 8th slide on the pitch deck, which I'll
Sure.
be having a discussion with my CEO on Monday.
Sure.
So give me some time. I would not say Tuesday. Give me time till Wednesday, coming
Sure.
Wednesday. Let me discuss with my CEO and the actual technical team
Sure.
that how they feel, as in they see usability, and it should not be friendly only for the admins. You know what I mean?
Correct. True.
So if we are working on an employees centric organization, we just want to make sure that the end of the day,
Correct.
either it is developers or the employees, they should feel happy that they are using. They
Correct.
should not feel like somebody is there, they want to just track my work.
Correct.
We
Correct.
want to make them understand that this is good for you.
Correct, correct. See, I'll tell you one thing. The successful implementations that we have done, the only reason why it's been done successfully is because there is some kind of incentive to track time at the unit level. That's something that I leave it up to you. The reason why, it works very well in like IT services firms who charge by the hour or so, because they know if they work more, they get more money. So it's
I
like
know.
more work is more money. So they're willing to work even on a Saturday. They're willing to work even on a Sunday, saying that I get to earn more money. So the minute you
Yeah.
can create that kind of a infrastructure and an environment, I think that's when people will actually enjoy this. They'll actually be able to see their
See,
hours and be able
actually,
to.
Varun, you are right. So that is what we need to see. Every coin has got two sides of it, right?
Correct.
So just like the same. So that's what I give example to everyone. So if we have a tool,
Correct.
it has got two sides. One is the admin, one is the people who are
True.
actually using it. So
Correct.
admin is the one who is giving the permission, setting up
Checking the
everything, and is going to
reports. Yeah.
look over the timings.
Correct.
Employees are the one who are on the sitting on the other side
Correcting.
who is actually not getting tracked. So they should not feel that my work is getting tracked. They should
Correct.
feel like if I work more, as you said,
I should get
I'll be
paid more.
paid more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's a fair, measurable system. I work more, I get paid more. Simple as that.
exactly. So, anyways, I got your point. I've got all
Yeah.
the questions answered, and thank you very much, as I said, for your time and recording
Sure.
this call. If you can send it as soon as possible,
Sure.
that will be good enough for me to prepare and complete the pitch deck, and we'll be ready on Monday to explain my team.
Sure. 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 Thanks. Thanks a lot.